Good evening and welcome to Late Night Bride. I'm your hostess, Peggy Kelly, and I have a very special evening for you tonight. Usually we talk to vendors. We talk to people that do photography and invitations and planning and all of the things that have to do with weddings. But who do those people work with and for? And that's who we're going to talk to tonight. So tonight, for the first time ever, Late Night Bride is actually having a late night bride and a late night groom. So, welcome to Late Night Bride, and we're going to be talking truly bridal with our first bridal couple. Their name, Jade Lewis and David Erickson. And we're going to come back in just a moment to meet them. So welcome to Late Night Bride. We're going to talk bridal, but most of all, we're going to have some fun. Welcome back to Late Night Bride. I'm your hostess, Peggy Kelly, and I have the privilege of introducing you to a lovely couple that not that I just know them, I love them. And we're having the adventure of a lifetime. So let me introduce to you Jade Lewis and David Erickson, my beautiful bride and my dashing groom. And you are creating an amazing wedding celebration for August 31st. And we want you to tell your story, not just tonight, but multiple nights over these next group of months, because there's nothing better than hearing it really from you. I mean, we can talk to vendors and we can give solutions and we can give tips, but you're living it. And so we want you to tell us about you. So first of all, everybody always wants to know, how'd you meet?
Oh. Would you like me?
Oh, you please.
We met at the Yard House in Pasadena. It's a local sports bar. We met in 2010 during the Lakers-Celtics finals. Game 1, so it was a very memorable day because they won. It's a historical rivalry, so we'll never forget that day because they won and it was the Lakers and the Celtics.
So was it eyes across the room, or was it who's screaming loudest, or tell us a little bit more.
It was like, I hope this girl gets out of this bar stool so I can watch the game.
Yeah. I was I was there after work, and the bar was already packed. And
of course.
I was walking around trying to find a seat, and there was nothing. So I found 3 ladies that were sitting there drinking some Cosmopolitans and martini glasses, and this was about right at the time I think Sex and the City 2 had just came out. Yep. So using deductive reasoning I thought was logical, I decided to stand behind them thinking they weren't going to sit there and watch the entire game.
Really?
So,
are they really basketball fans?
No, I didn't think they were going to stay there for the whole game, and unknowingly to me, they were true Laker fans and ended up standing the whole time.
It was just me that was a Laker fan. That was the bargain we struck with my friends. I take you to see Sex and the City first. And then I will buy you drinks and lunch if we can stay for the game.
Oh, so you went to the movie first?
Yes, we did see Sex and the City too.
Good call there, David.
He was right on the money with that.
I was half right in my
on who they were.
Thoughts, yeah.
Maybe the cocktails gave it away a little bit?
That's what it was. It was the Cosmopolitans that had me saying, oh, they're going to go to a movie here in a minute and I'll get a seat. But it
didn't quite work that way.
Didn't quite get that way. So I ended up cheering and rooting behind them the whole time. And,
how fun.
And that's how conversation we struck up conversation because it was a great game. The place was packed, and
it's a wonderful place to see a game.
So I could hear him talking, and I started butting in on his conversations, and vice versa. And then I shared some food with him.
Yeah, because all I couldn't eat standing up.
I
could drink standing up, which was working out fine until they saw I could probably use a little bit of food. Which was the sweetest thing I could possibly see. That's anyone's ever done in the place when I was there. So I said, well, I should ask and see if this girl would like to go out sometime.
So where did you go on your first date?
So first date was, I believe, about a week or so after.
No, it was only 3 days later.
3 days later.
3 days later. Okay.
3 days later.
Okay. Isn't there like a rule here someplace?
Yeah.
Well, you can't call her right after, and then, well, maybe. Okay.
3 days.
The 3 day rule.
2 more planned days for now. Anyways. There was a concert coming up that I really wanted to go to. It was a band called the XX, which I really been listening to for a couple of years, and I knew it was coming up in a couple of days, so I figured, well, this would be a great time to invite her out to see if she'd like to go with me. So I called her up, and she said, yeah, she would love to go. I didn't tell her what band we were going to see, nor did I even have tickets to the concert at that point in time either. So I was just like, well, we'll go down there and we'll see if we can find some tickets. So we get down to the Wiltern concert venue, which is where the show was at, and we get out of the car, and that's when I broke her the news. I'm gonna have to now find us tickets somehow. So thankfully enough, I found a person outside that was selling a
It was
pair.
really easy.
Yeah, it wasn't hard at all.
Yeah.
So yeah, found a guy, bought some tickets off of them, went into the show, and enjoyed the entire
Such a good
concert.
show.
It was, I mean, it's a great band if you don't know.
And tell me the name of the band
it's
again.
called the XX.
And
yeah.
are they still performing?
Yes.
They are. I
They've
believe
changed
so.
their sound a little bit, but they're still wildly popular.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a female male duo band kind of
okay.
thing, and it's very like melodic kind of sounding
Lots
music.
of
so,
romantic type
yeah,
of songs,
theme songs.
you know.
So I thought it would be perfect for that.
So is that a hint? The romantic music duo.
Yeah. I thought it'd probably be better than something hard rock or anything like that.
I was going to say, where I go to Van Halen, but no.
Yeah.
He didn't know me at the time, but he could have brought me to any show and I would have been happy. But that was it.
Yeah.
That was it. It was like, first date ever.
And it's a concert.
Yeah.
And you love concerts. I
Yes.
know that about you.
Yes.
And so, did you like the little bit of the adventure of David?
Oh, absolutely. I loved his spontaneity, like the fact that it was only one day went by when he texted me and said, "Do you want to go out?" And I said, "Yes." Well, how about tomorrow? It was like on a Saturday when he texted me. I met him on a Thursday. And so I was really excited that it was something like that. And then he told me it was going to be for a concert, and I got really excited. And
Nice.
So I loved that immediately that there was no type of the normal, waiting a certain amount of time. I didn't, I was barely getting on with my day, my life, and he was already texting me, so I was excited. I was like, "This is
So
great."
you felt wanted.
Yeah, no, it was amazing. I thought it was kind of like fated. It was great.
So when was the moment where you really knew, that we're a match? This is it. This is the one. I'm ready to go all in because we can keep one foot in and one foot out.
Absolutely, absolutely. I know his moment will definitely probably be different than mine, but for me, there was several moments where it was just like I had that one feeling that first time, and then you're like, more instances where you were like, okay, wow, we are really a great match. But the first time I had that inclination, like, oh my goodness, this is my person, was we went on vacation together to Puerto Vallarta for his 32nd birthday, which was only 2 months after we started dating. And we were just like rambunctious teenagers running around the downtown and having a good time. And I just realized we were each other's partners in crime. And that's when I knew. I was like, oh,
It was
God.
about fun.
Yeah, we were always up for adventure. So great.
And David,
that
for you?
hasn't changed. For me, I can't really pick an exact moment it was, but if, like you said, it was a combination of things. Over maybe the first month or so of getting to know her, her personality and the caring and kindness and the heart that she has was something that showed through more than with any other person I'd ever dated in my life. So, yeah, after a while, I just kept seeing more and more of the kind, gracious, loving, caring person that she just genuinely is, and
And it was consistent.
it was always exactly. It didn't feel like it was ever. It was like you're always waiting, like you said, 1 foot in. Like, okay, let's see after 1 month how you are.
let's see how
All
you
right,
are.
let's see you after 6
We're all
months.
good for a little while.
Yeah. Eventually,
right.
the other shoe is going to drop here. Is what I'm
Right.
thinking.
I've heard that line before.
Yeah.
We're all good for a little while.
Yeah.
You just kind
Yeah.
of wait and say, okay,
I know.
and scene. And then
Yeah. No, but it never stopped. She's just that person through and through. So it was. That's when I guess that's when I knew that it was that she was special and the person for me.
perfect.
Yeah.
And tell us about your proposal, because there is what we call an engagement season.
Yeah.
Which
I just found out about.
Right, which is usually Thanksgiving to Valentine's Day. People go, why then? And it's because people come together, for the holidays.
Makes sense.
In groups and mass, and family comes together and so on and so forth. And you don't need extra props.
Right.
Because you're decorated already. So
Totally.
tell us about your proposal.
It was nothing like that. It was I didn't know about it. There's an engagement season, huh? I didn't even know that. Well, we had been together for 8 years at this point already.
Wow.
Almost 8 years.
Almost 8 years.
So close.
And it took me some time to find the ring and put things together and get the ball rolling, so to say. And I really didn't have. For me, there wasn't a plan. I didn't know what I was going to do. I was just like, oh my God, I want to do this, but I'm not sure how I'm going to do this. And she was in yoga school at the time. She was studying to get her yoga certification to be an instructor. And so I didn't want to do anything during that time, possibly distract her from her work and her schooling.
Right.
So I decided, I was like, well, why don't I just wait until she wraps up her schooling, and then we'll put something together. And then it started getting closer to the end of that, and had started getting the ring together, and I was like, okay, now where am I going to do this, and how is this going to come together? And I just kept drawing a blank, and side note to it, I found out maybe about a month prior to that another one of her best friends was going to be engaged soon too, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to try and get this moving pretty quick here. So it worked out to where she, for her graduation from her studies, they do what they call, I guess, community class, where they get to bring in graduation class, where they get to bring in all their friends to take a class with her and see be with her as she teaches through one of her first classes, which was a great opportunity because a lot of my friends who were married, all of their wives had come, and I had told them, like, yeah, please come, we'd love for you guys to be there, and we'll all go out to dinner afterwards to do it. And so I said, okay, now this sounds like a perfect opportunity right now for me. So I had asked her where she would like to go for her post-graduation meal with all of our family and our friends and our parents and so forth. And she's all, I want BJ's Pizza and a Pizookie. And I'm like, okay.
There you go.
Okay, honey. You sure you don't want to somewhere nice? Maybe go somewhere? No, BJ's Pizza and a Pizookie. I'm like, okay. Well, that's where we're going. So I had that morning when she had left with all of her friends, I was stuck with all the husbands and all of my circle of friends back waiting for them to come back. So that's when I broke the news to them that I was going to be proposing.
By the way.
Yeah, by the way, I'm going to be proposing tonight. So that's going to be on the menu as well. So I went over to the BJ's in Pasadena where we were going to host it. And I talked to them that this is, here's the plan, this is what I want to do. She really wants a Pizookie, so is it possible for you to write, will you marry me on the Pizookie?
Oh, great.
Yeah, and then, put the ice cream on the ends. And of course the manager there was, oh my God, yes, of course, we'll do this for you, don't worry about it. She said, we don't have anything to actually write on the Pizookie, but we'll take it upstairs to the Mrs. Fields and we'll have our friends up there do it and then bring it back down for you. It'll be perfect, don't worry about it, it's all in our hands. We're not gonna mess this up for you. And I'm like, oh, thank God, you guys are amazing, thank you so much. So that was all set and planned. We get there, and I was able to break away for a minute to tell them, well, listen, once we're done with dinner, I'll let you guys know it's time for the Pizookie, and I'm going to get up and say a little speech about how proud we are of Jade and everything, and then please bring the Pizookie out so that we can, do the engagement right there. They're like, okay, got it, we're on it. Time comes, I get up, I do my little speech, thanking everyone for there and telling everyone how amazing Jade is and, how she's, the only thing she really wanted tonight was her Pizookie, but she's, so here for her now is her Pizookie. And the Pizookie didn't come. The Pizookie, they forgot the cue. They finally bring it out, set it down in front of her, and instead of actually writing on the Pizookie, they piled all the ice cream in the middle and then took hot chocolate sauce and tried to write "Marry Me" on it, which had, by the time it got to the table, kind of drizzled off to the sides, and so it was almost unlegible, to say the least, in the middle of it. So I had to improvise there again. So I just had to break out the ring and say, well, honey, this was supposed to say "Marry Me. Here's the ring. Would you marry me?" kind of thing. And
it was amazing, but I was clueless.
Yeah, she was clueless. All of her friends were clueless. Her mother was clueless. Everyone was clueless except for the guys.
But that's the best part.
It is. It is.
The video is hilarious.
Yeah, I got a little bit of a snur when I from the ladies, like, why didn't you tell us this was happening? It's like, if I had told you this was happening, trust me, you would have blown it 10 seconds into this whole thing. They're like,
we're not safe. No, I'm just letting you know.
Yes.
Girls in a posse, not safe.
No. It's
not safe. Somebody will spill the beans.
Yeah.
Not intentionally.
No.
But it'll happen.
Yeah.
It'll happen.
No, she was all comfy, and I know they would have tried to have her all dressed up all the time.
Yeah, I know. I was in sweatpants, had no makeup on.
See?
Yeah.
But see, those are the best.
No, it was
those
great.
are the best because they're heartfelt. It's personal. It's all about you. And literally sweet. Literally sweet. Now, once the engagement came into being, I remember when we met, David and I met, we were at a business conference.
I know.
You know, it was an all-day workshop, and you know, I was the event producer for that. And with that, we got talking about, you know, wedding planning. And I said, well, we'll come together and we'll talk about it. And the minute he said the Wiltern, I was like, oh my goodness. Well, I said a few other things, but you can't say that on camera. So, so why the Wiltern? Tell us why.
Yeah, it started off as we were looking at other locations. Wiltern wasn't our first choice, actually. We were looking at things in Pasadena. We're Pasadena locals. We love the city.
We joked about the Wiltern right away. It was a joke.
Yeah, I guess I wasn't even thinking about it even when we were joking about it. And then we started trying to look at other venues, and nothing was really striking our interest. And then we went to a concert at the Wiltern one night and started looking around the venue, and I was like, this is why aren't we even thinking about doing it here?
Sure.
You know, we should literally look into it. And I have, like you said, we go to a lot of concerts.
Right.
We're huge music lovers. So I know a lot of people at Live Nation and the Wiltern venue. So I got in touch with them to see about the possibility of privately renting the location for our wedding, and they were just ecstatic. They were just like, oh, yes, please. I mean, we would love to do that. That sounds amazing. They never do weddings at the Wiltern, so
I think they've only done I was talking to,
Three.
yeah, I was talking to Holly, and there have been 3 that they've done to date.
Yeah.
And you know, so you're an innovator, which I know you are. You're historic. I mean, the Wiltern is truly historic.
Yeah.
It is, you know, and it's a signature for the two of you.
It is.
You know, Have Concert Will Travel.
Yeah.
Are you? You know, so that's gonna be. I know it's gonna be amazing, but it's gonna be exciting too.
It will. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it being the first date and everything, there's just so much that ties back into it that we couldn't do anything different.
And see, that's the story. And you know, when we're planning weddings, and that's the first thing I talk with couples about is tell me your story.
Yeah.
Tell me your love story. And like you say, your first date, the Wiltern. And I loved how we came together to put together a very important part to start your story. And we're going to come back in just a moment and talk about the next step of telling your love story. So we'll be back in just a moment with Jade Lewis and David Erickson, and we're going to talk about the love story and how it's going to start unfolding and where it starts and where it's going. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back to Late Night Bride. I'm your hostess, Peggy Kelly, and we are speaking with my beautiful bride, Jade Lewis, and my dashing groom, David Erickson, and we're talking about their actual wedding, and we're going to be talking about their wedding for a while, because what we're doing this season is we're taking you through their planning process, literally from yes to I do. So tell us about your planning process to date, because it's like before planner, you know, pre-planner, having a planner, doing, you know, a lot of it yourself, having a little coaching on the side. You know, let's start with pre-planner. How was it before, you know, everybody got together and we said, okay, we're going to do this as a team?
I believe there was not a lot going on until you came along. To be honest, we needed a lot of help, and I feel like a lot of couples might not have direction. They might have 1 or 2 ideas about something. For us, it was our venue.
Right.
And that was venue. We wanted to have great music and great food, and that's pretty much it. We didn't know how it was going to look. We didn't know about design, the process, even the budget, that kind of thing. We didn't know how to figure that out. So we came to you with no knowledge whatsoever, total novices, and needing your help, because all we had in our minds was we wanted a certain venue. We had an idea of like the aesthetic. It wanted to be a super fun wedding built around music, but that was it. So we came in with open minds, basically, because we had already figured out the one piece, which to us was the biggest part.
Right, you had the pivotal piece.
Right.
You know, which is, and the venue drives a lot.
It does.
And with having a historic venue like the Wiltern, you know, it brings so much to the table right from the gate. You know, the beautiful decor, you know, an amazing stage. You've got lighting, you've got sound, but you also have some challenges too with it.
Indeed.
Which is, you know, how do we put 250 people seated in there? How do we, you know, what does the ceremony look like? Now we're going to talk about those things along our journey. I don't want to get caught there. I just wanted to have a starting point with that. because I know, David, you're very visual, and I love that about you. You know, you love to draw, you want to sketch it out, you know, and you know, that's really an important piece to have is some level of vision, but also to wear it loose. You know, and then, you know, because it does unfold over time, and also having the patience to allow it to unfold over time. So that's kind of our carrot for future conversations, because I really kind of want to stay with the relationship today, because the relationship, I'm a firm believer, how you plan your wedding is how you build your marriage. And, you know, and with that, we talk about negotiation, we talk about, you know, communication, we talk about compromise, you know, we talk about being collaborative on that. You know, over when we met this summer until now, you know, I'm sure that you've had some interesting moments, you know, of conversations, you know, because it, you know, as beautiful as engagement is, it's a growing process too. You know, and, you know, with a clear direction. You know, you grow together in this conversation and in this journey. I'd love for you to just share some, you know, what I would say interesting moments along the way, things that you didn't know, things that you didn't know about yourself that have come up on it, and who'd like to go first on that one?
Well, ladies first, I think.
Okay. Well, for me, I literally timing. I didn't know how everything was timed. I assumed that you had to have saved the dates out like a year in advance, and that's not the case. And I didn't know what invitations had to be chosen and that kind of thing. I was completely unprepared for that. But things that surprised me about myself is that I'm more of an easygoing person. I go with the flow, and how I more or less kept trying to stifle or control like some of the creativity that was happening on his end, which it's not normally like me, but I was so afraid, and I wouldn't even let go to see what it's supposed to grow into, like you said, how things kind of, they evolve as you go through the planning process. So I was very, you know, wound up about that, which is not my personality in any way. And so I had to come to Jesus moment for myself, where I just said, stop, relinquish all of that, and just say yes to everything. Don't say no to all these things. Just say yes, and see what comes up with it. And then, you know, then I set myself free.
and I always tell people, just exhale.
Yeah.
Just exhale for a minute, you know. And you're right, say yes, and then lay them all out.
Yeah.
And you will see what will naturally fall in place, and which sounded like a really good idea in the moment, and then not so much.
Yeah.
You know, and how about for you, David?
Yeah, for me, I am a creative person, and it did shock me a little, but it didn't shock me that much that, you know, once we had the venue, the ideas just started flowing through my head, and all these different things. Oh, this, that is. So in my mind, I'm already like, oh, this is a piece of cake. We've got this. There's going to be no problem whatsoever. So I think the biggest thing that surprised me is that once we started getting into the finer points of like the aspects of the venue, the different types of individuals we'll need to have with us for, you know, aka lighting, sound, catering, logistics, and it just started snowballing from there. That I was like, oh, I really just had the broad stroke together that in my mind, that it wasn't really, the details weren't missing. So that's what kind of surprised me the most, is that, okay, I really thought I had a pretty decent handle on this until we started getting into the nuts and bolts of everything. That's when it really opened up my eyes to how important it was to have you and everyone else that's going to be involved as
it's
part
truly
of this
a team.
Yeah,
it's truly a team.
Yeah.
And with a historic venue, we literally have to bring everything in.
Yeah.
You know, we have this beautiful venue and stage, but every table, every chair, every china, everything from the last fork, you know, and knife to the napkin is coming in from other locations, and you're doing your ceremony there as well as your as well as the reception, and we're flipping the space on top of it. And here again, we're using terms that we're going to talk about more as we go forward in this. But you know, the moment I love that you and I had was the moment with the envelope, where we literally were in the Wiltern, with paper, and I had an envelope,
Yeah.
and we were sketching on the envelope
Yeah.
on that. This is how I see it, and it's like perfect, and that envelope stays in your file because it's about honoring your vision and what you see, and then as each layer is added to it, that envelope comes with us everywhere, and then we just keep adding on to it and adding on to it.
Yeah.
Now with that, what for each of you, what's your must-have? This is your day. What is the must-have for your day?
Well, it's always been a dessert table for me. So that's pretty straightforward on that end.
Sweets and me.
Plenty of desserts.
Okay.
Yeah. For me, well, I guess the must-have is her.
Stop it.
Thank you.
The other besides that, the must-have for me is really everything about it to me. It's just the whole experience.
Right.
It's a must-have to me. I can't really pinpoint like specific thing. We're foodies. We love music. All of those things. They'll all be there and part of it. But in my mind, I'm just picturing. I see everything together. I see all the friends. And I see the stage. And I see us together. And I see the interactions and the food and all of that.
You're
And
an
that's the
experienced
must.
guy.
Yeah. It's the whole package for me, kind of thing. That's the must.
So one of the things that we did together, which was really fun, was your save the date.
Oh yeah.
And as much as I want to talk about that today, I think that's going to have to move over to our next conversation. For us, for today, what we talked about is love. It's really that simple. That's what Late Night Bride is about. It's about planning your day, but it's also about helping you to stay engaged while you're doing it. Because it can get, as you said, it's overwhelming. It's about the details. It's about the logistics, and it can become huge. And with that, your time can be taken up with it.
Right.
And you can disconnect without even realizing that you do. And our goal here is to keep you connected, keep you having fun, keep you moving forward, and not feel it along the way. Because there's nothing more special than going from yes to I do, and doing it effortlessly, but most of all, doing it together. So from Late Night Bride, and with Jade and David, we're going to take an adventure this year. We're going to plan a wedding. We're going to plan it with you. So enjoy your time with us. Learn along the way. And you're going to learn from someone who's doing it, not someone who's talking about it. I'll talk about it. They'll tell about it. And then together, we will experience it all together. So, welcome to Late Night Bride. Come take the ride, have some fun, but most of all, stay engaged, because that's what we want for you. We want your time together to be as magical as your day, and we can only do that by staying engaged. So, thank you from Peggy, thank you from Jade, thank you from David, and thank you from Late Night Bride. Here we go. We're on an adventure, and it's called Planning a Wedding. But we're going to be building a marriage too. We'll see you there.